Alright.
Alright, y'all. I tune into another episode of Make That Radio Show. I'm your host, Andres, and I have two special guests, another power couple. Yeah. Macon Black Tech founders.
Yay!
Do y'all have your own defined role within Macon Black Tech, or like as far as CEO, CFO, COO, or anything like that?
So do you want to go?
Y'all want to introduce y'all? Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Oh yes. Hi y'all. I'm really excited to be here. I'm Christelle Parham, founder of Macon Black Tech. We're excited to be here, and I'll let Arian talk.
Hi. My name is Arian Parham. I am the founder of hamtech Solutions and a partner with my wife at Macon Black Tech.
Yeah.
You asked for the position. I'm more of like the lackey.
Okay. You know, everybody needs what's true. I'm one for Andre for a lot of different stuff. So, it just is what it is. We play our roles.
Yeah. But Christelle's the executive director.
Okay.
So is that your title?
I just be doing stuff.
You just be doing stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so entrepreneurs though, and I love highlighting entrepreneurs. I started a show with like artists, then I wanted to brand it way more. So here recently, I just been doing a lot of entrepreneurs or people who are entrepreneurial, like models and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
I'll bring artists back on where just sometimes I get tired of their mentality. No, for real. Oh, I'm sorry. On my platform, like,
that's funny.
Goes.
No,
feel comfortable in expressing your opinions.
I value your opinion. Like it's all about.
I get tired.
I wasn't expecting that.
Anything comes out of my mouth too, as
that's
y'all
cool.
Probably have witnessed.
Yeah, I've heard the interviews. That's funny.
I'm like that, and on camera, off camera, it just goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've been interviewing a lot of different entrepreneurs as well, because one I could definitely identify. But I like to see other people's stories, success stories, trials and errors, things they've been learning. So for everybody out there who doesn't know about y'all, like how long have y'all been entrepreneurs? And you can still talk about, you said Parham.
Hamtech
Solutions.
I'm sorry, Hamtech Solutions. So I guess it was play off the name though, right?
Yeah.
Hamtech Solutions. That reminds me of like Tony Stark and all that, was it? Never mind.
Oh.
You got Hammer Industries, like
Hammer Industries. Yeah,
a guy who doesn't. He gets all these contracts, but his stuff works.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So Hamtech Solutions, tell us about that. What got you started in that space?
Okay, so I started Hamtech Solutions back in 2013.
Okay.
But like since I was younger, the dream was always to have my own business. And so what's crazy is that I always thought about it, but never really put a plan behind it. Yeah. And so the only goal was to have a business. So in 2013, I registered the business, and that was about it. It kind of sat for maybe about 2 years. I had like some stuff that I was doing on the side, but I really didn't go full time until 2016. That's when I left the medical practice that I was at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you was actually doing technology or assistance for the medical practice?
Yeah,
okay.
So I was the IT and facilities manager. It's a pretty big practice, covering both, like 3 different specialties: family practice, OBGYN, and electrophysiology, which is like pacemakers and stuff like that.
Cool.
So yeah. I like this look.
Yeah.
Christelle, what about you?
So yeah, and then for me, I feel like ever since I was young, growing up in Haiti, I've always been a hustler.
No, I'm just kidding.
Is that due to, I guess, the economy of Haiti?
No, well, growing up, my mom's siblings were all entrepreneurs. Well, my grandfather, my maternal grandfather, in the country where he lived, he owned the only auto shop in that space. So like people would have to travel to come buy stuff from him. So I grew up seeing that. My grandfather, from my dad's side, was a physician, so he had his own practice. His sister had her own bookstore. Like I grew up entrepreneurs all around me. My uncle, who I would spend the summers with. In Haiti, a lot of architects are also engineers, so he was that.
Okay.
So I've always seen entrepreneurs around me growing up. So yeah, I think my mom and dad were the only ones that weren't entrepreneurs. I forgot I have to look at the camera.
No. I'm just taking a little just since I've already interrupted you.
Okay.
I will be taking like little breaks or whatever, so you know.
Okay, cool. And then, so I've always seen that. So it was so funny, like, let's say when I was a kid and I wanted to go buy some junk food and they wouldn't let me, so I wait till they go to work, try to hustle something in the house and sell it to my neighbors.
Gotcha.
And with that money, I would go buy what I wanted, but don't tell them that, though. I'm just joking.
Make sure to send this to you.
But yeah, so I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit in me. And when I moved when I was in South Florida, I actually had a jewelry company. I would also make jewelry, and they'll be in fashion shows, and I had a good relationship with different people. So when I moved to Macon 5 years ago, I was in a transition phase, so I didn't really do much. As I was figuring out my life, and we had some family tragedies we were going through, so I had stopped, and up until last year I went back to selling jewelry at the Macon Exchange that was downtown. And then while doing that, my own, but it was just like I had it like in my head, I always had the perception that it had to be at a certain time in the future. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So last year, as I was going through some transitions, I asked myself, why does it have to be in the future? Why can't it just be now? Exactly. You know, which was really scary. So it took myself, I had to like take myself out of my comfort zone. And I think like seeing Arian quit his 9-to-5 to start his business full time, because I think it was getting to the point where the full-time job and the his business were both demanding. So he had to make a decision where he had to quit while I held it down.
What's up, y'all? I just wanted to take a brief intermission real quick to point out She's Royal Cosmetics. She's Royal Cosmetics. She's Royal Cosmetics. It's the latest cosmetics, body, jewelry, and essential oils for all of your beauty needs inside and out. If you want to inquire more about it, you can do so at www.shesroyalcosmetics.com, or you can dial the number 347-403-3596. That's She's Royal Cosmetics. Definitely go check out the Facebook page, see what all they have to offer. Check out the website, shesroyalcosmetics.com, or call the number 347-403-3596.
That makes a great point, and that's one of the things that I tell people all the time. I'm glad you experienced that, because you have to make that decision.
Yeah.
When your part-time business starts to demand more and compete with your full-time employment, either you're gonna go that way or you're gonna go that way.
Yeah.
And you have to make a decision. You can't like balance. It's like straddling the fence. Like say you straddle the fence, but you haven't chased the ass or something like that. So that's what you're doing, because you can't serve two masters.
Yeah.
So you might as well, take that cut and build up your business, because it's the time that you want to put into it.
That's true.
So
you also have to ask yourself the question: am I just like doing this part time to make extra money, or is this something that has the opportunity to grow into something?
Yeah. So, and as you did this, like, what was the response from your peers, co-workers, family, friends, as far as leaving the security of a 9-to-5 to pursue your own dreams? I loved listening to those answers.
You know what's funny? Initially, I was gonna say, "Oh, everything was great. Everybody was great," but then I thought about it, and I think that's why she laughed. But I mean, for the most part, I think everyone was rooting for me. Like even my bosses, they knew from a long time ago that I wanted to have my own business.
Yeah.
And so when I made that decision, they were very supportive. No backlash. You know, whatever I needed, they were there, sort of deal. I wish they could have gave me extra money, but anyway, that would have been great.
That would have been good. Like, you know how there's that meme that says, like, why can't we have baby showers for business, opening new businesses?
Oh yeah, actually, we should start that trend.
Yeah, no, I think that's something we should do. We should support. Like, I saw that and I shared that. Like, people don't understand because I'm sure y'all get this a lot. People see y'all with y'all time. You set your schedules, right, according to whatever demand you have at the time. And people are envious of that. And so then they're like, you know, how do you do this? No, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. But you can tell that they don't have the proper mentality to, you know, go out there and chase their dreams like y'all are doing right now and making things happen.
Yeah. I think, like, one thing I see is that, I think, like, okay, so having the entrepreneur's mindset is different. Like, you definitely are making a decision to be uncomfortable. Like, you're intentionally thinking about, I do not want to be comfortable. Like, I'm getting out of my comfort zone to make something happen. And it's so funny because now, like, and I could see, like, my mindset has changed from employee to entrepreneur, right? It's very safe to consider. Some people think that 9 to 5 is safe. They're gonna work for that certain amount of time, and then they're gonna be able to retire. Like, it's not as safe as people think. Like, you know, just like, you know, there's uncomfortable moments in entrepreneurship. Like, your company can decide that they're closing doors like tomorrow, right? So,
but they give you a warning.
Without a warning. But what I do notice in conversations is that, like, I can see when I talk to people and, like, they're like, whoa, we really wish we could do this, blah, blah, blah. I can sense that there's still fear. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, because, like, the time is now. Like, why do we perceive that we have to wait till, like, a certain amount of time? Because tomorrow is not promised. I'm not saying for you to do something radical, but, like, every day you could build on your dream.
Yeah, but you know, I think about, like, what I'm coming to realize is that everybody's kind of on their own journey. And the reason why I said it is going back to the question you asked me originally. Like, Christelle wasn't for me. Well, I wasn't saying. Let me clarify.
I'm gonna disagree.
Let me clarify.
We're still having that argument, guys. I'm gonna disagree.
Their mama is up, right?
So I remember calling Christelle a dream killer.
He did.
And
you heard it here first.
So no. So let me explain. So in the moment, I thought Christelle was a dream killer, but really, what she was trying to do was help me to plan better.
By the way.
And at the time, I didn't see it as that. At the time, I saw her as another obstacle because it wasn't that she wasn't, you know, she was saying, like, no, you can't quit. It was just like, okay, here's something else you must do. Yeah.
You got to hit these objectives.
Exactly. And so I was like, I ain't trying to hear that. I've been trying to quit for like 5 years. And so anyway, like.
Can I tell my side of the story?
Okay, sure.
Alright, guys. So this is what really happened.
No, this the tea.
This the tea, okay? So Aaron wanted to quit. While we were dating and stuff like that, and I was helping him pick out his name for his business, I already knew he was going to, like, before we got married, I already knew Aaron would eventually have his own company, right? And I knew that day was going to officially come. And it's scary, you know, like,
It is.
Yeah. So, like, he was, like, calling me. Like, there were various instances he was like, okay, I'm going to quit right now. I'm going to go into the office. I'm going to quit right now. And I'd be like, okay, cool. Because, like,
That's not what you said.
No. In my head, I said, okay, cool.
Okay.
Like, in my head, I was...
conversation.
So, like, I had always told myself I would never want to be the person to kill someone's dream. You know what I mean? Like, because I know what it feels like when you believe that you want to do something and then someone tells you, like, you can't do it, you know? So I was like, okay. And I knew, like because I knew the situation and it was, like, it was not a comfortable situation. I didn't want Aaron to make an emotional decision.
Mm-hmm.
So like what I did was I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna sit down. I like printed out some bank statements, printed out budgets, like try to have a meeting and see how we can make this thing possible.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my brother was like, oh man, Christelle, you're a dream killer. And I was just trying to help,
Mm-hmm.
you know? But I understand, like, looking at it now, like, I know what it feels like to, like, be very emotionally, like, in that space. Like, oh, you
Mm-hmm.
treating me this way? I quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, because I've done it, you know?
Mm-hmm.